should start. What we are going to start with is a violin selection played by Baird Dodge. He's a member of the Chicago Symphony Orchestra, and he plays in his courtyard downtown. And he's a friend of our son-in-law, who also is in the orchestra. And fine fellow, and we're going to start with Over the Rainbow. Does that often. Don't you wish you lived in that building? Welcome, everybody. We bid you welcome who come with weary spirits seeking rest. We bid you welcome who come with hope in your heart. We bid you welcome who enter this place as a homecoming. Whoever you are, whatever you are, wherever you are on your religious journey, we bid you welcome.
Good morning. Our summer church hours will continue through August and Labor Day weekend. The church year will begin on September 13th at a regular 10:30 service time. In the meantime, we'll continue to have them until 10 o'clock. Our Reverend Beth Johnson is taking a few weeks off of summer leave and will be back leading some of the services in August. During her time off, Reverend Beth is organizing the Unitarian Universalists to join the August 1st Fierce Urgency of National Mobilization at the 60th anniversary of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s March at Market Park during the Chicago Freedom Summer. Please consider joining folks from this congregation and beyond for this multifaceted mobilization. You can register at fierceurgency.now or contact Reverend Beth for information. Or me. Or him. Him is Darren. You can contact Reverend Beth or Darren. Tomorrow, Monday, July 20th at 7 p.m., Marion Honnell Wilson's presentation on helping an aging parent, a 40-year-old perspective across generations, will be held at the LaGrange Public Library. That'll be tomorrow, July 20th at 7 p.m. All are welcome to attend. On July 25th from 12 to 3, there will be a cookout at the DuPage Naperville UU Church to fire up the UU Prison Ministry community and to meet new people. Reverend Beth had a last-minute ad. She said, join Indivisible Naperville Friday, July 24th, 2026, 7 to 9 p.m. to honor those who have died due to ICE violence. We will have tombstone-shaped small posters, each with the names of people who died due to ICE violence or negligence year to date. We will all wear black, carrying a sign and a tea light. One person will beat a drum like a heartbeat, and we will be silent as we do a short loop walk. The plan is to meet at the corner of Jackson and Weber at the library site at 7 p.m., take off by 7:15 for a short circle around downtown, and then back at Jackson and Weber at the pavilion, where we will line up the signs and tea lights. Please check the news and notes that you receive online on Fridays for further announcements, and you can sign up or pick one up at the welcome desk in the living room.
Paul and I were at camp this last week, just for a couple days after 8 years of absence. And Suzelle Lynch was the main speaker, and I'm sure you all know her. She has spoken at our church here several times. And she had a new chalice lighting words, and I thought that would be fun to try it. And I'm going to read it through once, and then we'll all do it. Starts out with, I am the chalice and the spark, and you are the flame. You are the chalice and the spark and the flame. We are the chalice and the spark and the flame. With love as our abiding guide, with hope shining deep inside, we light this chalice as our guide to keep our hearts open wide. So everyone, let's say this together. I am the chalice and the spark and the flame. You are the chalice and the spark and the flame. We are the chalice and the spark and the flame. We love as our guide. We hope shining deep inside. We light this channel as our guide to keep our hearts open wide. If you have a joy or a concern, please come up and put a rock in the, we don't have water in it. Just a minute. No, it's okay. You don't have to get it. If you have a joy or a concern, please come up, say your name briefly, and realize we're on YouTube. Yeah. You're a guest, Ann?
I am.
Welcome.
I'm a guest. I'm Ann from Boca Raton, Florida. Delightful to be with my aunt and uncle, Jane and Dave Folzer, and my cousins, Kathy and Jeff Look. And joyful to be with you all today, and especially joyful of their continued love.
Here you go. Okay, you can put a rock in there.
I'm Matt, and I'm very joyful today that the members of the choir here to sing Barbershop. It's been very fun to work on that all summer, so I'm excited it's finally coming together. Thanks.
Anyone else? Please keep in mind in your hearts Nancy Weil and William Deal. William is going through the last stages of his life these days, and he's soon to be going to be in hospice. So just keep them in your hearts.
Okay, we will now have our offertory. If folks want to repeat the offertory words with me. This church is made up of all of us. It is what we learn together, the work we do together, and the fun we have together. It is what we share with one another, with the people around us, and with all the world. Thank you for your generosity.
Let's have a moment of silence together. May each breath remind us of the sacred rhythm of life and the gifts of our lives that pulses through us each day in the form of love, understanding, and hope. Please follow Matt's lead after he sings it once, then we will sing it 3 times.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. Our reading today, excuse me, our reading today is Vismaya, which means wonder, and it's by Tagore. My heart sings at the wonder of my place in this world of light and life, as I feel in my heart the rhythm of creation, cadenced by the swing of endless time. I feel the tenderness of the grass in my forest walk, the wayside flowers startle me, that the gift of the infinite are strown in the dust awakens my song in wonder. I have seen, I have heard, I have lived in the depths of those known who have felt the truth that exceeds all knowledge. It fills my heart with wonder, and I sing and discover the pulsing of my life.
The theme for today is discovering the pulse of life. When I started doing this, I started out planning to talk about listening, deep listening. And I kept reading other things, and I decided, no, we're going to do pulse of life today. So that's the theme. Each Sunday when we arrive at church, I find it interesting to see how many of us gravitate to the same seats in the same area as I do. It's like living in your own neighborhood. Sometimes you're familiar with your own block and your next door neighbor than you are with others who live on another block or on another side of the room. But we know everybody. At least we can say hi to them. A few others did the same years ago, and sometimes I used to sit in the back there where Dennis usually sits. And next to me was another longtime member, Art Adelberg. I don't know how many of you remember Art, but he was an interesting character, and we had interesting conversations. So one Sunday, Art started talking about the meaning and purpose of life. And I thought, where did that come from? He was strong in his opinions and claimed there was no purpose or meaning in life. We are just here, accidentally, and must live our lives the best we can. And it's easy to believe that most of us have probably thought about that and asked the same question: what's the purpose of our life? Does our life have purpose, really? Joseph Campbell, the well-known philosopher and mythologist, said, "We search for meaning in life as if it's a buried treasure under a rock somewhere, hiding, as if it is something outside of ourselves." He claims we do not have to look far because we are the life we are looking for. And we have ways to shape our lives by participating in it fully with courage and will and persistence. What we are really seeking are the experiences of being alive. And when life experiences resonate and are in balance with our innermost thoughts and feelings, we feel alive. And this is never static. It changes and grows as we explore life's journey. It's this pulse of life that I call that helps us know who we are. In this pulse of life, we can become more authentic and truthful with who we are. It's a balance between the outside world and the inside world. I have invited 3 members of our congregation to share how their creative energies led them to discover the pulse in their lives. Megan Griffin will speak to a relationship with a friend. Peter Crowder will follow and share his activities. And lastly, Matt Brown will speak to music as his newfound pulse in life.
I met my friend Erin at Illinois State University in 1995. She is the middle child with 2 older sisters and 2 younger brothers. I am the oldest with 2 younger sisters and 2 younger brothers. Her youngest brother is the same age as my first brother. She lives in Quincy, Illinois, and I live in LaGrange. At that time, we both had long brown hair and were about the same height. We had an English for elementary education class together, where the professor loved to talk about the anthropomorphic qualities of Winnie the Pooh. His favorite saying was, "Silly old bear." By the 12th time the professor had said this in one class, our eye rolls were in sync. We were hooked. We were friends. We have had many adventures over the years. Over one winter break, Erin had to have a rod inserted into her leg and came back to school using a cane. ISU is a wind tunnel, and it was hard enough to walk to class in January with the wind, snow, and ice. So I helped her along to her class before heading to mine. When we met up for lunch, she told me that one of the guys in her class told her that she should be careful of how she was walking to class because, she was confused, and the guy went on to say, "You know how it looks like to walk hanging on to another girl?" Erin wanted to smack the guy over his head with her cane. I said, "All right, same class, same time tomorrow." Friendship is being able to make light of any situation. The first time Erin came to visit, she walked into the kitchen with her coat still on, and my dad was in there. Now, my dad had a disability where his spine was fused, and he couldn't turn his head, and he had a few other disabilities. He saw a person out of the corner of his eye and said, "Here, can you please empty this?" Erin took it and said, "Sure, but I don't know where the bathroom is." Dad, figuring it was me, handed off his urine bottle. I was mortified. "Dad, that's not me." Friendship is being able to laugh at mortifying things years later. Yeah, that was interesting. She did come back. The first time I went to see Erin in Quincy, I got directions from her dad and was writing it all down, before MapQuest and Google, and was told to make sure I don't take the road that goes off to Hannibal and to take the second exit 10 up the bluff. You know what a bluff is, Megan? "Yes, Mr. Cook, I know what a bluff is." I wanted to say, even though I'm from the city, I know my geography. Well, driving there, I panicked. I took the wrong exit towards Hannibal, figured out my mistake quickly, and got back to where I was supposed to go. I did make it up the bluff and to the correct second exit 10, though. I didn't let him know I couldn't read the big green sign that said to Hannibal versus the other big green sign that said to Quincy until years later. But to this day, I still think of Mr. Cook's direction, up the bluff. At least I got that correct. Friendship is making a few wrong turns, but still getting it right in the end. Another time Erin came to my house was probably around 1999 when I was having my first summer party. Quick aside, everyone's invited to the summer party August 22nd. More details will come later. My brother, who was about 11 at the time, was hanging around while Erin was cutting up cucumbers. Mark was being annoying as usual, and so Erin pointed the knife at him. My mother was in the kitchen, saw this, and said, "Go ahead and poke him. He's driving us all crazy." Mark didn't get poked, but he did find something else to do. Friendship is worrying about getting in trouble with your friend's mother, but getting permission instead, and understanding annoying brothers. Aaron came down to Texas for a while in the summer while I was pregnant and dealt with my crabbiness of the heat, and having not just morning sickness, but all-day sickness, and the craziness of my husband at the time. She knew he wasn't the one for me and told me so, but most of the time kept her mouth shut. She was there for me when my father passed away in 2004, and I was there for her when her father passed away in 2015. Friendship is being there with grief in your heart, but love all over. She and I would do a lot of road trips with my daughter over spring breaks or summers. Our rule was that we could all pick out one thing to do, and the others couldn't whine about it. We did that pretty well, and most of the whining was done by me, the driver. We're going where? One trip, we literally planned the trip to the minute. We had talked on the phone for the past few months, and I had typed up probably 5 or 6 pages of what we were going to do, when and what time, and where we were going to stop, etc. We had a great time planning it, but within the first hour, I had to go to the bathroom, and all of our timeline went haywire from there. It never got back on track, and we finally just didn't care. She just told me the other day she found those papers and had a good laugh. Friendship is timing things without being timed. I have just been down to Quincy 2 times in the last few months, more than I have been in a long time. Erin called me up on a Thursday in May and said her mom is planning to take her oldest sister off of life support. I told her I'd cancel my students on Friday and be on my way at 5:30 in the morning. Drove the 4.5 hours to Quincy, stopped by her house to grab Erin and go to the bathroom, and then drive the other 1.5 hours to St. Louis, where her sister was in the hospital. I stayed for 4 days. Her sister wasn't taken off life support at that time, but I was still there to be moral support and just to help deal with the sadness. A week later, Erin calls me to say her sister did pass away. Went back to Quincy on Sunday. Monday was the funeral, and came home Tuesday. Would have loved to stay longer to help with the more intense grief, but Erin understood, and we both needed to get back to work. Friends show their love in times of sorrow. Erin just called me the other day saying that I would probably have to go to Las Vegas with her. She goes out there every year, usually with her mother, to a Star Trek convention. I've been twice and have been adamant that I am not going to Las Vegas again with her in August. But here I am, leaving again with her in 2 weeks. Friendship is making sacrifices to go where you really don't want to, but you don't want your friend to be alone. There's a quote by John Leonard that says, "It takes a long time to grow an old friend." I have known Erin for over 30 years now, and yes, it has been a long time, and I hope that we will be friends for many more years, and that we will grow even older together.
To be present for a friend is a pulse in life. Peter?
Hi, everyone. You know, Anita wanted me to talk about the pulse of my inner life. I thought she was talking about my pacemaker. Now, if I think about the things that really move me and really are the focus of my life, I think about the hobbies that I do. And I think when you talk about hobbies, you think, oh, that's something trivial, something kind of on the back burner. But I've been retired a long time, and when I retired, I was looking for things to do. I've always had hobbies, but when I worked, hobbies were a minor thing. But once I stopped working, I was looking for things that had meaning and that were fun to do. So hobbies to me is really, I guess, the pulse of my life. Each hobby has goals and has meaning to me. And even though I have some minor hobbies, I basically have 4 hobbies, 4 things that I like to do. They really are the crux of my life, and that get me up in the morning and give me goals. I think goals are so important. When you're younger and you're working, you have different kinds of goals. But once you retire, you don't really have, you may have goals or you may not, but hobbies, for me, have given me goals, each one of them. So there are four main hobbies that I have. The first, I guess, in my list here is painting. And I think you've seen some of my paintings in the church. And during the auction, the fall auction, I've agreed to do a painting as part of the auction. Painting is something that I never did before, even though my mother was an artist. I always drew, but I never painted. But since I retired, I started painting. I started taking classes at COD, and believe me, painting is a real challenge. It's not easy to do. It takes a lot of work, a lot of effort. It can be very frustrating, but it can be very rewarding. And for myself, the thing that I really like about painting is realism. When I see something and I can duplicate it, and in my painting it looks like what I'm painting, that gives me a lot of satisfaction. So for me, those are goals, to try and duplicate something, or if I'm doing a portrait, to get a likeness of somebody. That's very gratifying. But I've been doing it probably now 15 to 20 years, and I never like to do the same thing, so that I've kind of expanded, and I do abstraction, cubism. I've just tried just about everything, and one of the hardest things is coming up with new ideas, because I just hate to repeat myself. So painting is a challenge. It gives me goals, and each time I start a painting, it's like I'm starting all over again. It's like I've never painted before, so I really look forward to each new one that I do. And I'm going to continue to do it this fall and indefinitely. The second one, second activity that actually I've been doing this since I was a kid, is playing the guitar. I mean, I always loved Elvis Presley, and I always wanted to play the guitar, so I started doing it when I was 15 or 16. I used to play in rock and roll bands back then. And for many years, I kind of dabbled in guitar. I'd take a lesson here or there. But then James Larrabee, who was just sitting right down there, suggested Guitar Band University. And I said, that sounds pretty cool. It's an organization where you sign up and then they put a band together. And I hadn't been in a band since I was in high school. So I signed up, and it's really rejuvenated my love for guitar. And I think I've gotten better. I keep trying, and to me, it's just a great hobby. Music itself is so great, and again, it's never ending. There's always new things to learn. So that's my second main hobby. And then third one that I've been doing for many years is teaching. I never thought about teaching, and when I retired, I talked to my younger brother, and he said, can you think of anything to do now that I'm retired? He says, what about teaching? He says, it's fun, and they pay you. I said, that sounds good. So I started teaching options, because I knew a lot about stock options, puts and calls, and then that kind of morphed into investing, and I've been teaching investing probably 15 to 20 years also. And my kind of teaching is great, because it's continuing education, so that there are no grades. It's really easy, and everybody that takes my class, they want to take it. They don't have to take it, they want to take it. So it's very gratifying. And even though I get paid, and it's not exactly a king's ransom, I kind of look at it as like a volunteer kind of thing, because I feel I'm helping people, I'm trying to guide them in terms of investing, so it's kind of a win-win. And the last thing that I do is ventriloquism and magic. And if you're bored, take up ventriloquism. It's great. So I did this again about 15 or 20 years ago. I saw an ad in the Wall Street Journal about ventriloquism, and it was an ad about this course that a lot of professional ventriloquists took. So I signed up for it. I learned how to do ventriloquism. Again, it was another goal to try and achieve. And then I started doing ventriloquism, and then I did a little bit of magic, which I was always interested in. And my late wife, Joanne, always said, "You're not the man I married." I never thought I'd be performing in front of people and being a ventriloquist. And it's so much fun, and it's fun for my puppets too, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's great.
How'd you get my pocket?
You took me there.
So this is just one of my puppets.
Yeah, you're the best one.
And if the nice thing about ventriloquism is you never get bored. You always have somebody to talk to.
That's right. So, see ya.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
So those are my hobbies, and those are the things that give me pulse in my life. Thanks.
I knew Peter as an artist and a magician. We had a fundraising dinner at his house one time, and he did lots of magic, which was awfully fun. So thank you, Peter. And I was reading the other day about art, and when you look at a piece of art, and I was thinking about Peter, you're really looking into the artist expression, and there's a coming together of you and the artist. I have felt that in some paintings, but yeah, good pulse of life. Matt.
It's a bit of a tough act to follow. So you ever go to the grocery store before lunch? Like, you might not know you're hungry, but everything just looks so appealing. You might not even realize like that you're wanting something, but it's just, you spend way too much money, and then you get home and you're like, what is all this crap? It's how I used to feel every time I went into an art store. Just this feeling of, oh, I want something here. I need something here. And this is a feeling that I've been trying to deal with my entire adult life, knowing that I want to make something, but having no idea what. And everything I tried to do just wasn't really fulfilling that. And I did a lot of exploration. I tried a bunch of different hobbies. I made friends with a lot of artists to try to figure out how they determined what was so creatively fulfilling for them. I remember I talked to a game designer friend of mine, and if you don't know, making games is one of the most difficult and strenuous artistic pursuits you can have. And I asked him, like, why do you make games? And he looks at me and goes, because I have to. I was like, well, it's very deep and meaningful, but entirely unhelpful. Thank you. But you get that answer when you talk to artists. Maybe they can't explain why, but they're drawn to that medium or that creativity. In my UU church in Arlington, I started an artist wait group. Some other people who felt like they were stuck artists, who wanted to explore their creativity and really open that up. And what I ended up with was a lot of notebooks of morning pages of me being able to express more how frustrated I was that I wasn't connecting with things. I spent a lot of time drawing. Drawing is the closest I got. Studying drawing, anatomy, different media within drawing, taking lessons, and it was all right. But then it was suddenly taken away from me. I had a shoulder injury that left me basically unable to hold a pen. Some of you might remember at that time I was trying to learn how to write with my left hand, because I love a challenge, and the challenge of it is what was most appealing to me. And it was also around this time I joined the choir. And the connection with music, I just like walked into it. I was like, oh yeah, this is great. I love music. I love singing. And singing with the choir reminds me of, this time in my childhood of going on road trips with my family, and the windows are down, and we're blasting an album we all like, and we're all singing as loud as we can. And you've heard how loud I can sing. I am not the loudest singer in my family. It is an ear-splitting experience. But it's connection. It's something you're doing with someone. You're connecting in a way that it's very hard to do otherwise. And then there's the challenge of it. Like, music's hard work, and we practice and we work at it, and we get better at it. And those two things just really click for me. And it really finalized last year when I started learning piano. It's just a continuous journey of mastery and fun and connection with others, and people in this congregation have helped me, especially Jonathan. But I just really enjoy it. And I remember saying to my brother when I started playing piano, like, piano, drawing never sung to me like piano does. And then pausing and thinking, like, oh, I wonder if people who are called to be writers say that things don't speak to them, or if people who enjoy drawing feel like they're not drawn to other kinds of art. But nowadays, as I'm doing more and more music, I'm finding that I walk into an art store and I just have no desire for anything there. And it's it just feels so wonderful to not have that constant need chasing me anymore. And especially now in this time of my life, some of you know it's been very turbulent for me. Music has been a buoy in this just ocean that's churning around me. And it's been something that I can connect with others with, even when I can't find the words to express how I'm feeling. I can still be with other people and do something with them and find myself in that. And so it's been wonderful to find this congregation and be able to find a place to do music again and bring that back into my life. So thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Do you believe in serendipity? It's happened to me so many times. As I said before, I was going to talk about deep listening. And I thought, better not. This is today's our 69th anniversary. I better not talk about deep listening. And then Matt sent me the names of the two songs they're going to sing next. And it was I Love You Truly. I said, serendipity. All these moments that we've listened to today are moments that will last a lifetime with us, but they carry us through the good and the hard times. Thank you. Join me in extinguish the flame. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of its truth, the warmth of this community, nor the fire of our commitment. These we carry in our hearts and share with all the world. Thank you. I have in the trunk of the car this giant World War II parachute. And we are going to take it outdoors to pulse the air into it. But I don't know how many of you will want to do that with the air quality. Anybody raise their hand? You want to do it? No? Two. We could do it another day when the air quality is better. Yeah, good. It's an experience that you'll never forget. I used to do this at camp with the kids, and they still talk about it, and this was about 30, 40 years ago. So we'll do it another time. Thank you.